Yeah, yeah. My phone is cracked, so I keep taking these selfies because I can't see where it says video versus photo. So I just keep hitting the button and it keeps giving me stupid selfies. I gotta have to go back and uh delete that picture real quick. I mean, I'm not gonna do it now. Probably after this video or something. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like I said, possessions and it's called masters on this one because I'm gonna do the King James version. And by the way, I uploaded all those videos. That's part of the reason why. And I just took a shower, like I said. That's part of the reason why I'm you know, kind of late on doing this. I mean, now it's like like a little past 9:30. So by the time I get done with this, it's gonna be almost 11 o'clock. Maybe even 11 o'clock if maybe even a little past. If I end up maxing it out, I don't think I'm gonna max this out. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go through possessions, and then I'm going to go through anxiety again. And if it takes an hour and a half, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm gonna go through it as thoroughly as possible because to me, maybe not to you, but to me, this is more important than me just talking to you about stupid stuff. I mean, sure. I mean, I love talking to you, but I don't really know what to say to you anymore. So, this gives me something to talk about. This gives me, some time to spend with you. Um, and to me, it's more than just time. To me, it's important. So whatever, it's there. Again, it's just I'm not beating you over the head with it. It's just there if you want it. So, but I did make you some videos. I was in the park earlier, not in the park because I don't really walk around in the park itself. I just walk like where I showed you in that big open place. I just kind of walk. It's huge over there. You can't see on the camera, but it is big. That place is huge, and I just kind of walk. A lot of times I don't even really go in the open place. A lot of times I mean it's around there. It is just so. I mean that is the biggest park I've ever been in my whole entire life as far as like real estate. It just goes on and on and on. So I just go there and I just like walk around and enjoy some downtime or whatever. So, but yeah, I made you some videos today. I was just kind of walking around and I made you. I think altogether it was close to. It was long. It was a good chunk of time. I mean, it was. I think one was like a little over 20 minutes, and then I stopped it because I had to do something, and then I did a part two, and the part two was like 8 minutes, and then I stopped that and came back, and then it was like I don't know another 5 minutes or something, and then I already had other videos that I had to upload, and they I didn't really get to finish up talking to you at the park because like I said that video ended up dropping out because I already had other videos from yesterday that I had to upload, so I needed space. And like I said, I only have a certain amount of space in my phone because I don't pay for it, so I'm not going to sit there and pay for space. That's ridiculous. um but yeah, so I'm going to do possessions and masters first, and then I'll work my way down to anxiety. Because yesterday, it goes from 19 to 34. But what I did yesterday was I went from 24 to 34. So when I started talking about anxiety in God's kingdom, because I felt that's for some reason I just felt like that would benefit you. I don't know why. Because maybe I mean you're a teenager, and teenagers are susceptible. I mean everybody's susceptible to anxiety, but especially in your teen years. I mean, you're kind of just coming into your own, and again, I'm just giving you verses that maybe might help you out. So, in the grand scheme of things, I'm just trying to talk. I'm just trying to offer you something that's of God. Um. So when I started on verse 24, it might have seemed like I just kind of like picked some spontaneous like verse, a random verse, and just kind of like because the anxiety part was like the bottom half of the paragraphs, but the anxiety was actually based off of I mean you could basically apply the anxiety verses to any part of life. I mean it says anxiety, but you know, but above it, it says possessions and masters, which is basically currency, money, whatever. So, you know, so I'll just go through that today with you. It's from verse 19 through verse 34, and that's Matthew chapter 6. Let me see here. Verse 19 says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it out of the King James Version and then match it up with this one over here. And this is what I'm talking about with the red letters. This is actually Matthew, the chapter I was talking about too. I mentioned this chapter before, like, you know, I mean, I'm sure you already know about Bibles. I mean, come on, you live in America. So, but yeah, I mean, his language is in red letters. So, verse 19 says, possessions and masters. And like, again, I'm not trying to talk to you like you're stupid. Definitely not trying to do that. It's just I don't know what you do know versus what you don't know. I don't know your background. For all I know, you know all about the Bible, or for all I know, you're not even into the Bible. You couldn't care less. You don't know that much about too much of anything except for what you're interested in. I don't know. That's kind of the way I was when I was your age. I didn't really care too much about anything outside of my friends, myself, and just, I don't know, whoever else. You know, I just basically, I had my own life, and outside of my life, I was kind of just like, I don't know, whatever, like nonchalant about everything else, you know. So it is what it is. I mean, maybe you're the same way, maybe you're not. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. So I'm just kind of, you know, approaching it accordingly. Because I'm talking to somebody who, at the end of the day, I don't know you. So it's like, you know, I don't mean to talk to you like you're stupid, because I don't think you are, but I don't know you. I don't really know what you know versus what you don't know. So, you know, just kind of bear with me. I'm just making this video, and definitely not calling you stupid. I'm absolutely not doing that. But verse 19 says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. So let me I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably just sit here for a little bit and kind of come to what that means on my own, but I'll just speed up the process here and go to verse 19. Let me see here. Hang on for a minute. Don't store up treasures here on earth, where they can be eaten by moths and get rusty, and where thieves break in and steal. Okay, so basically what he's saying is you know, self-explanatory. Basically what he's saying is this world is temporary. Like I've said in these videos all along, you know, it's temporary. Cars, they fade away. You know, everybody wants a nice car, everybody wants a nice job, everybody wants a good-looking husband, or some people don't care about that. That's cool. Some people want a nice car, some people don't care about that. They care about other things instead. But my point is everyone cares about something, and most people care too much about this world, and they don't care enough about what really counts. This world, like I was saying to you in the before the video cut off in the park, you know, people, you know, this life on earth, people get too comfortable and they just, like, look, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life. I'm not trying to say, you know, everybody needs to just like kind of, like, I'm not saying that. Enjoy life, rest in life. I mean, be happy. Nobody's saying be all stressed out and weird, and, you know, I'm not saying stressed, you know, I'm not trying to be like, you know, I'm not saying being stressed out is weird. Sometimes things happen, but I'm saying nobody's saying to walk around and be anxious. And that's what the next part is about. But, you know, this world is no one's home. I don't care if you believe in God or not. It's not anyone's home. Our bodies all pass on. And, you know, things of this world, they fade away. You know, like somebody's, you know, cars, they, you know, eventually you're going to have to send them to the junkyard and so on and so forth. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with having nice stuff, but I just, you know, what he's saying here pretty much is, you know, there's nothing wrong with having nice stuff. There's nothing wrong with, you know, having a nice home and this and that and whatever else. But it's when you get caught up in that stuff, and it's when that stuff consumes you. It's when you let that stuff take over, you know, take you over, and you start living, and you start putting all your eggs in that basket, that temporary basket with that temporary stuff, and then all of a sudden, what, like you got to get rid of it. And then somebody might say, well, I'll just get another one. Okay, well, there's gonna come a day where, this world that we all live in, none of us are gonna be here anymore. So that's kind of what God is saying. Like, when you're standing in front of God, the grand scheme of things, what I believe He's saying here is, again, seek God for yourself. I'm just doing this video, but when you're face to face with God, He's not going to care about what kind of car you drove. He's not going to care less if you were walking down the street, rolling down the street in a wheelchair, or crawling down the street, or walking down the street with your, on your hands. He does not care one bit. He doesn't care about your car. It doesn't faze Him. He doesn't care about about how much money you made. He doesn't care about what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of cell phone you have in your pocket or your purse. He doesn't care nothing about that. He cares about, what did you do on this planet for Him? Because that like I was saying before, that's our purpose. Our purpose is to have a relationship with God. Our purpose is not to, go our own way and just live for ourselves. It's to have a relationship with God. That's why we were put here. That's our purpose. Like people roll up out of bed a lot of times and or doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It could be any way. You ever just sit back and just wonder, why am I on this planet? Like, do I serve a real purpose? Am I really here? Or is it just all this just happened by accident? No, it happens for a reason. And the reason is, your purpose is the same as my purpose, is the same as everyone else's purpose on this planet. And that's to have a relationship with God. That's the reason why He came down here and died for us. That's the reason why He died, so He can make a way back to Himself. So you can, fulfill that purpose to which you were created to do, And that purpose, again, is to glorify Him, is to have a relationship with Him, is so He can come into your life and work on you and gut out all that stuff, like that sin nature. And so, like this world is temporary, and it probably sounds stupid to you, but it is what it is. So, I mean, it's not supposed to sound, normal to most people. So that's to be expected. So don't feel bad. I don't feel bad if it sounds stupid to you, because I'm telling you the truth. So it is what it is. And I say that because I know what it's like to experience a heart change. So, so yeah, I mean, like, what matters is, what matters is, what did you do for God? Like God, we all have this, like I said, we all have the same purpose, which is to have a relationship with God. But when that happens, God, we each have separate callings, like that. Your calling is basically, I mean, like I said, your purpose is, the reason for your existence. The reason you exist is to have a relationship with God. And to you live on the planet that God created, and you're supposed to have a relationship with God, and He has a calling on your life, is what I'm trying to say. And there's the difference between a purpose and a calling. The purpose, for which you were created is for God, to have a relationship with God. But God, when that happens, God has a calling for you, and that calling is an individual, unique, specific calling, specifically custom made for you, Mackenzie, you as a person, you. I mean, you are made for a specific reason. Why? I have no clue. That's between you and God. I know why I'm here. Aside from, God, I know, how I'm supposed to honor that. We're all here for God, but, we all each have an individual calling. How are we going to honor that? So each of us has a unique individual calling, so to speak. Some bigger than others, but it doesn't matter about the amount of it, because in the eyes of God, it doesn't matter if you know, what the